Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Your headlines in the southeast this Friday evening. A cash reward to catch the thieves stealing phone cables across Kent from Gillingham to Maidstone to Tunbridge Wells, leaving vulnerable communities cut off.
This isn't a victimless crime. There are people who could die because they've lost their phone, people who can't get help when they need it.
Donations falling but demand rising. We're at a food pantry in Sussex that says the cost of living crisis is hitting families hard.
Also tonight, should MOT tests be carried out every 2 years? Motoring experts fear changes will affect safety on the roads.
And the choir that has a special reason to celebrate, honoured for its work to make music accessible to any audience. Good evening. A reward is being offered to catch those responsible for a string of cable thefts in villages across Kent. Elderly residents and businesses have been left with no phone lines, television or internet.
Some towns and villages are being repeatedly targeted, including Benchley, Wateringbury, Benenden, Featherston, Luce, Gillingham and New Ash Green, all suffering outages.
Well, the rising price of copper is being blamed. Andy Dickinson reports from the village of Horsemondon near Tunbridge Wells, which has been targeted 5 times in as many weeks.
Like so many of our traditional villages, the corner shop here is at the heart of the community. Yet modern communications, the internet, phone and television are even more importantly the lifeblood with which business, conversation and information flows. A flow now repeatedly being cut off because of thieves.
It's left the vulnerable people of the village without access to their phone lines, without access to calling their families or calling the emergency services, without calling doctors. It's been really hard on businesses, people who work from home, and particularly the elderly and the vulnerable.
Live cable was actually ripped out of junction boxes here all the way to an exchange 3 kilometres down the road. This community now targeted 5 times following similar thefts across rural Kent. It's thought the wiring being taken could be worth £8,000 a tonne, wrenched out at night in rural areas known for being quiet.
Phone calls have been going through to actually different houses. The police need to knuckle down on it, don't they? I think that's all there is to it, is they need to catch these people, otherwise it's going to become more of a problem for other villages as well.
We have an elderly lady in the village who has one of these lifelines that relies on the phones, and that's been not operating for weeks at a time. Her family are so worried because they don't know how she'll get help if she needs it in case of a fall. This isn't a victimless crime. There are people who could die because they've lost their phone, people who can't get help when they need it, and there are small businesses suffering badly. It's causing a lot of angst, a lot of pain and loss of money.
In a statement, Openreach told us these incidents have severely impacted day-to-day lives of people across these areas of Kent throughout June. We are working closely with the police to catch those who are responsible and have deployed additional security enhancements across the area. Kent Police adding that 1 man was arrested last week within hours of an alleged theft and that it continues to work closely with residents. Andy Dickinson, ITV News, Horsemondon.
A man from Canterbury has been arrested suspected of stealing fuel from a lorry in the nearby village of Harbledown. Well, these plastic containers were found in a vehicle when the 30-year-old man was stopped by police on patrol in the Barham area in the early hours of this morning.
A knife-wielding robber who threatened to stab an elderly woman during a robbery at a newsagent's in Gravesend in May has been jailed for more than 3 years. Garvin Jarvis put on a balaclava before going into the newsagent's on Livingstone Road and demanding money from the till. He then threatened the customer before grabbing cash and running from the shop.
A food pantry in Burgess Hill where people can shop for low-priced food says it's been overwhelmed with demand as the cost of living crisis deepens.
The pantry gets donations from FareShare and supermarkets, and people can pay £4 and get £20 worth of supplies.
But members have risen from 15 a year ago to more than 200 now. And those who run the charity say donations have dropped significantly, as James Dunham reports.
Every tin can, the box of cereal, and loaf of bread Claire Handford is able to place in her basket is a cost-effective meal to ensure her family does not go hungry.
There's myself, my children and my parents all together in one house. It makes a massive difference to our family. It means that I don't have to worry about what we've got coming in, and it also means that I can give my children the little treats, a trip to the cinema once a month. It would hurt a lot of families in town if the service couldn't be here and provide what it does the way it does.
The pantry's essential offerings have seen a dramatic rise in demand.
When this service opened a year ago, there were around 9 visits every single day. That shot up now to 29. They're oversubscribed here and desperately in need of donations.
The items here arrive from supermarkets and food banks, which are also struggling with supplies, whilst funding from grants isn't going as far as it used to.
These Fray Bentos pies are really popular with our members because they're a meal, obviously, and they went up from £1.50 to £2 within a week. They didn't just gradually go up, they just shot up. And the tinned meats as well that we buy, they've gone up to £1.65, which used to be about £1.50.
The increases mean Julie's £200 monthly spend to top up the shelves is now around £1,000, with the sharp rise in the cost of living seeing reduced donations from the public.
Everybody's struggling, so they can't afford to do those extras and donate like they used to. I don't think I anticipated this growth, and in actual fact your local pantry is all over the country, and I think there were probably 15 to 20 when we started, and there are now 82 pantries in the country. So, there's a lot of demand. It's not just here.
The pantry offers vital support to this community. It is a reflection of the financial pressures we are all facing, that it too is now reaching out for help. James Dunham, ITV News, Burgess Hill.
Well, meanwhile, a children's charity says a plan to revitalise children's centres after years of austerity is lacking substance.
The new so-called family hubs are designed to be a one-stop shop for support and advice for parents.
But Action for Children says the government needs a clear vision to make a real difference to families.
Well, Catherine Walker has been taking a look at these hubs and she's in London for us now. Catherine, what's this all about?
So family hubs are a joint venture between the Department of Health and the Department of Education. So far, 75 local authorities have been promised funding, including Thurrock in our region. Some of them will be new hubs, but most of them will be existing children's centres that are just given a bit of a revamp. I went to take a look at one earlier and see what it's all about. Learning through play. The first 1,000 days of a child's life are critical, and now the government has promised more investment. They're putting £300 million into new-style children's centres called family hubs. But these parents on the south coast have mixed feelings about the idea.
I think it'd be really beneficial. I think definitely for those people who don't have the support at home or have anything, and it'd be more individualised than online, because at the moment that's the easiest place to go to.
Realistically, it'd be nice to have everything, like all the support that you'd need, just in one place.
I'm not sure whether the money could have been better spent on better support for childcare for families. That's certainly an issue that I think is affecting almost everyone I know with a baby.
If you didn't have that kind of built-in network of new mums to ask questions and just have a bit of company, then yeah, like a drop-in centre would be a really good place to meet other people, which would be nice.
I think it'd be really useful, especially for the breastfeeding support, because almost all the mums I know have had trouble breastfeeding and have had so many questions.
Family hubs like this one are designed to be one-stop shops for parents wanting to access important services. It means things like midwifery, parenting classes and mental health support are all available through the same front door. From food banks to financial advice, Service Manager Sally hopes it will help families access help earlier, addressing issues before they escalate. So what impact does it have having all of these services in one place then?
Oh, it's fantastic. So a parent may come in to use the cafe here and realise that actually there's a health visitor here, so they can have their child weighed and have a conversation with a health professional. They then may realise that they have financial difficulties And we have a food bank here. You can come in for one thing, but there's a whole host of services.
New mums Emma and Emily told me it's been a vital source of comfort and information.
We've got like a network of support really through the groups. So we go to the breastfeeding, a lot of breastfeeding groups, just to sort of get some advice on different positions and how to help Harry feed better. And it's been just fantastic.
Especially when you're a new mum, you just find on your feet and everything's just new and you're learning everything. So it's just gives you that support and just the reassurance to know that other people are going through it.
But as many as 1,000 children's centres have closed since 2010, according to the Sutton Trust. So while charities welcome the news, they want to see a clear plan for serious investment.
Family hubs and children's centres provide those really crucial early years services that support parents. For a long time, those have been sort of forgotten in government policy. Family hubs investment is a good start, but what we're saying to government is that they really need to make a firm, long-term commitment to make sure all new parents can access a family hub and get the support they need.
With the cost of living crisis hitting families in the pocket, it's expected that more parents will turn to children's services. But we've yet to see in detail exactly what these family hubs will have to offer.
So Catherine, there are some concerns out there that people don't know what family hubs are and how to access them.
Yes, that's right, because they all have different names and different services. For example, some of them are still called Sure Start Centres, which was the name used by Labour as it was their flagship policy. But the Centre for Social Justice told me they have an idea which could make them more accessible.
Have birth registrations in the family hubs. That means that from almost day one, young parents will know where their family hub is, where their local hub is, and be really comfortable with it. This is a very familiar process, birth registration. They'll have a look, see what services are on offer, and I think that will make the whole difference.
And Catherine, what is the government saying about these calls for clarity then?
Well, unfortunately, the government declined our offer for an interview on this occasion. But in a statement, they told me, we want to make sure all parents have the right help and support in place, which is why we're expanding our network of family hubs, which Sure Start Centres can be part of, so parents can access important services for them and their children. Together with increasing investment in vital support schemes, government are levelling up opportunities for children across the country.
Catherine Walker in Westminster, thank you.
Now you're watching ITV News Meridian in the South East. Still to come between now and 6:30. The free bottles of sun cream being handed out to thousands of school children, along with an important lesson on staying safe.
And singing in sign language, the choir in Chatham making music visible.
For more on all of our stories, of course, you can go to our website, itv.com/meridian is the address. You can call us 0808 1010 095 and don't forget to follow us on social media.
An asylum detention centre in Kent has made significant improvements according to a government inspection. Napier Barracks in Folkestone has reduced the maximum stay to 90 days and improved the running of the site. Barbed wire has also been removed. However, inspectors say improvements to sleeping areas need to be made, as well as increasing privacy for detainees.
From today, anyone using a single-use disposable barbecue on beaches and some open spaces in Brighton and Hove could be fined £100. The ban was approved by the council in March to tackle safety, litter and environmental issues and comes into force today. Standalone non-disposable barbecues are still allowed. The ban covers the beach between the two piers, Hove Lawns and 4th Avenue up to the King Alfred Leisure Centre.
Sevenoaks in Kent has been named as one of the most expensive places to buy a house in the South East. New figures from the Halifax show property in Sevenoaks costs almost 12 times the average annual salary. Tunbridge Wells is not far behind, with homes costing around 10.5 times the average yearly income. Homes in Medway, Eastbourne and Hastings cost around 6 times average earnings.
Now, road safety experts have spoken out against suggestions that MOT tests could be moved from once a year to every 2 years. At the moment, All cars more than 3 years old need to have an annual test.
But the government says this is being kept under review. However, the RAC fears any changes could lead to a decline in safety on our roads. Sam Blackledge has more.
Putting your car in for its MOT can be an inconvenient and sometimes nerve-wracking experience. The anxious wait while the mechanic inspects every corner of your precious vehicle, putting it through its paces before delivering the final verdict of pass or fail. But what if we only had to go through all of this once every 2 years?
The annual MOT covers categories such as lighting, tyres, brakes, steering, suspension and emissions. And these sorts of things wear out. And the annual MOT is designed to ensure that the vehicle meets a minimum standard of roadworthiness. Not every vehicle owner has their car serviced frequently, and they rely upon the MOT actually to give them confidence that their car is safe. So potentially some of these advisory items that actually could fail the MOT the day after the MOT or in 6 months after or longer, they're going to get left, and that's a real concern to us in the sector.
Clearly, changing the legal requirement to have an MOT from every year to every 2 years will save drivers money in the short term, but there is concern from motoring experts that failing to get your car checked over regularly enough could end up costing you more as time goes on.
The RAC is very much against this idea. We think it will lead to an overall lessening of road safety, which is the opposite of what we should be doing. Road safety statistics or road casualty statistics have been plateauing for a number of years, and something like this has the potential to make things worse. If your vehicle has a serious fault, it's far better to put it right at the soonest opportunity rather than leaving it and actually probably end up spending far more money in the long run.
In a survey, more than 8 out of 10 used car buyers said they would be happy to switch to 2-year MOT tests, while almost 7 out of 10 believe their car would stay safe under the proposed changes. We spoke to people in Ashford in Kent, most of whom were keen to stick to a test once every year.
I think it's a good idea because they need to save money, and most cars are safe now. And I think, yes, if you get an advisory, give you more time to get it fixed. So if it's depending how severe the problem is, but you could perhaps just get a temporary MOT and see how long the advisory is.
I'd say 1 year, just due to safety. If it's over 2 years, something might go wrong in the meantime. So say keep it every 1 year, just to keep it safe.
The problems may be there and they might not know. So yeah, I'd say probably keep it for safety reasons. Keep it to a year. Maybe 2 years is too much time to let things go wrong.
Transport Secretary Grant Shapps said the issue is being kept under review, but added that any changes to MOTs would have to maintain rigorous safety standards. Sam Blackledge, ITV News.
And the ITV Evening News continues here with the national and international news at 6:30. Here's Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up, the latest Tory MP to be accused of sexual misconduct. Witnesses allege that Deputy Chief Whip Chris Pincher groped 2 men in a private club. He's now resigned.
It feels like this is a Conservative government that is dealing with scandal after scandal.
COVID cases go up by more than 500,000 in a week. So what's behind the rise? And all smiles for Brit Heather Watson at Wimbledon. She makes it through to the 4th round for the first time. Well, join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Good news. Now, 30,000 bottles of sun cream are being given to children in schools across the country as part of a campaign to prevent skin cancer.
Research by the Skin Cancer Foundation shows that just one blistering sunburn in childhood more than doubles the chances of developing melanoma later in life. Amrit Birdie reports.
There we go, you're welcome. There we go.
Thank you. School break time with added freebies. This class of Year 3 children are all receiving a bottle of Factor 50 sun cream and an important lesson on staying safe in the hot weather.
What else can you do apart from sun cream? And how often should you put the sun cream on? What should you do with that? Every 2 hours. Every 2 hours.
The school is one of many across the UK taking part in a scheme by online retailer Essential. free bottles of sun cream are being handed out to thousands of primary school children, with those from a disadvantaged background able to request as much as they need.
In the current climate, with all the squeezes on budgets and household budgets, it's the one thing parents won't afford to buy is the sun cream, because it's normally so expensive. And so many of our children, they're out in such an open area, which is lovely. You encourage them to go outside, but they don't have the protection that they need to keep them safe.
Skin cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the UK, with more than 224,000 cases recorded in 2019. That's a rise of more than a quarter since the figures 6 years previously. And just one bad sunburn in childhood more than doubles the chance of developing melanoma later in life. These facts are all too familiar to skin cancer specialists like Rachel Alexander.
Episodes of sunburn from childhood and pretty much every decade really, but the children's skin is more sensitive to the sun. But every decade we go through, we want to be avoiding sunburn exposure. So if we can try and keep it going throughout our lifespan, then it's obviously going to be the most important thing to protect ourselves from later development of skin cancers.
Back on the playground, and it seems the children have absorbed plenty of sun safety tips along with their sun cream.
Do you think wearing sun cream is quite important at school?
Yeah, quite important, because you're always playing around on the playground, so you'll get hot.
And what else can we do to stay safe in the sun?
Wear sunglasses, a hat and stay in the shade.
Also wear thin clothes and short sleeves and shorts. Keep hydrated. Wear sun hats and sunglasses to protect you from the sun.
The campaign is running throughout the summer, with hopes the children will carry their newfound knowledge and their new sun creams with them wherever they go. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Some good advice there from our little experts.
They knew a lot.
They knew a lot, yeah. Let's
good.
hope we've got some good weather coming up. James right here shortly. Now, a choir from Chatham has won a national competition for their work performing on stage for people who are deaf or who have hearing loss.
But the group, called Revolution, doesn't actually sing. It's signed to music, and members throw in a few dance steps as well. Tom Savides went along to one of their rehearsals.
They're not singing, they're signing. This is a choir with a difference. They're called Revolution, and as their name suggests, they've changed the face of choirs.
Revolution is slightly different with regards to how we sign to music. We use a combination of theatrics as well as British Sign Language to create a performance. And over the years we've been tinkering with different pieces, and this year we obviously hit the right note, and yeah, I was very proud of the team.
Revolution, who've been going since 2016, won this year's National Signing Choir competition in London. They usually perform in and around the Medway towns to deaf and hearing audiences, bringing communities together. But instead of using their voices, they sing with their hands in British Sign Language and use their body and facial expressions to tell the story behind the song.
So you're up there having a good time. Well, what's it like being up there?
Scary, nerve-wracking. I was one of those that said I would never do it, but it is good fun. It is good fun.
I'm a teacher, and when I was training, I had a deaf child in my class, and he could only talk to one person in the whole school who translated for him. So the fact that I could just come in the morning and say, "Good morning, how are you?" It wasn't much, it was all I knew. But when I left, he said to me, "Thank you for talking to me," because I was the only other person in the school that could at least try to converse with him. So it makes a really big difference in those people's lives.
For 15-year-old Gracie, who's been deaf since birth, it's a chance to shine on stage.
It's brilliant and I love it. I love
people. I love helping people out, like.
There's also a separate signing choir for children, Revolution Elite.
I like how it's just so fun and everyone's so helpful and kind, and we just all have a nice time and also enjoy ourselves.
I just love to be able to communicate with deaf children. It just gives me I love it really.
The choir takes to the stage once a week to rehearse, and it certainly has paid off. Take it away, ladies. Tom Savidas, ITV News, Chatham.
Congratulations to them. And you can just feel the energy.
Yeah.
And what an inclusive thing to do, bringing so many people together, isn't it?
I mean, it's artistic, it's important, but it also looks like a lot of fun,
Yeah,
which
it
is
does.
good.
It looks good.
Yes. Now, Sangeeta mentioned the weather a little bit earlier on. I don't know if you've had a brief look, an advanced look. I haven't. I'm on tenterhooks. Let's get the full forecast.
This weekend.
Here's James.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Good evening. The weekend nearly upon us, and for us actually not looking too bad at all. We've got reasonable temperatures. It would be nice to get an extra degree or so, but this high pressure out in the Atlantic is going to start ridging across southern parts of the UK, and that's going to keep things on the settled side as we head into next week. As far as this evening goes, one or two very light showers drifting around, but they won't last much longer. And for the bulk of the night, I think we're looking at some long, clear spells. You might see a little bit of cloud drifting up from the channel from time to time, but that cloud and the direction of the breeze actually making it milder than it was last night. I don't think we'll really be seeing even rural parts getting into single figures. So as far as tomorrow goes, sunny spells pretty much from the word go. Some places seeing some good spells of sunshine. In fact, as we head into the afternoon, we can call them long spells of sunshine, and that's partly because of what's going on to the north and west of us. You can see this little front here is weakening all the while. It's only got showers on it, so as we get into the latter part of the day we might see a bit of extra cloud but not rain. That gives us plenty of sunshine ahead of that, and as a result we're going to see highs of around 22 Celsius, that's 72 in Fahrenheit. A little bit cooler on the coast there. We've got a reasonably fresh onshore breeze. What happens next? Well, Sunday we start to see that southwesterly breeze move to a more west-northwesterly flow. These showers across the Midlands unlikely to get as far as us, and I think we'll see again plenty of sunshine and maybe an extra degree on temperatures, maybe 22 or 23 degrees. Looking ahead to Monday, even lighter breezes. We've still got that same airflow. I don't think we'll see any showers, some good sunny spells. And a quick look at Tuesday, things start to get a little bit warmer.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
It's the time of year where there are several pollens and irritants in the air, grass, weeds and trees like lime and sweet chestnut. After high levels today, we've got high levels to come over the next few days. Have a good evening.
Well, it's the weekend, so you make the most of it. In just a moment, the ITV Evening News here with Lucrezia Millarini.
For now, though, that is it from us. Thank you very much for watching, whatever you're doing. Have a fantastic weekend. We will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
See you Monday. Bye-bye.